A 12-year-old today told a D.C. judge he was passing a gun around when it went off and killed a 13-year-old in the district.
Ahmed Mims was found shot to death on a sidewalk on Rosedale Street back in July. He was a rising 8th grader at Kip Northeast Charter School. As News 4's Paul Wagner reports, today a judge reduced the charges against the 12-year-old charged in that shooting after hearing the new evidence about how the shooting happened.
Good evening. When News 4 first told this story back in July, we quoted from a search warrant affidavit that indicated that witnesses had told police that 13-year-old Ahmed Mims had been targeted because he had allegedly struck the suspect's sister. However, none of that came out in court today. Instead, a detective testified that the 12-year-old, who's now charged in this case, voluntarily came down a homicide and gave 3 versions of what happened that night. Here's what else we know. Detective Darren Malloy, seen here outside the courthouse today, testified that there were 4 people inside the house on Rosedale Street back on July 11th. And as the investigation got underway, police talked to as many as 10 witnesses, including a man who told police he saw someone dragging Ahmed Mims out of the house and leaving his body on the sidewalk. Detective Malloy said 3 days after the shooting, the 12-year-old and his family came to homicide and agreed to talk with police about what happened that night. Detective Malloy told the court the 12-year-old said Mims had a weapon that night and was sitting on the couch. The 12-year-old told him to put it away, and when he went upstairs to use the bathroom, he heard a gunshot. That was the first version. In version 2, the 12-year-old said Mims shot himself. But in version 3, the detective testified the 12-year-old told police he had the gun and passed it around to the others in the living room. And when it came back to him, he raised it in the air. And when it came back down, the gun went off. Detective Malloy said a witness who was in the house corroborated that version. In this video, recorded in the hours before Mims' death and shared with News 4, you can see 2 males waiting in the hallway of Mims' apartment building before the 13-year-old comes out and looks right into the camera. During the testimony, the 12-year-old broke down crying and wiped tears from his eyes. The detective also testified that a man walking his dog that night saw someone pulling Mims' body out of the house. The 12-year-old told police that person was him and that he was trying to get help from Mims. Instead, he says he got scared and fled the scene. The 12-year-old will be back in court on August 26th. At D.C. Superior Court, Paul Wagner, News 4.